component, capacitor, go to place, component, basic, we will go to basic, the capacitors. What was the value we have taken in the lab? The capacitor 22. So the same 22 I am taking. So if you right click, rotate 90 clockwise. And this capacitor so we will take component, okay, close, right click, rotate 90 degree one. So this one we will connect here. So after rectifier with capacitor. Now we will run the circuit. Double click on CRO. The double click on CRO you will get the waveform. So just pressing pause, and after pause if you press this slide, then you can see the number of cycles for the input and output waveform. So first we will see the input waveform. So for that, channel A is connected to the input signal. See, channel A positive is connected to the secondary side of the transformer, and channel B positive is connected to the load resistor. The channel A will show you the input signal, and channel B will show you the output signal after filtering. After filtering with the capacitor filter, whatever is the input from it, that will be displayed in the second channel, channel B. So for time being, I'm setting channel B off. So we are unable to see the complete signal. This is the input signal, which is in DC. Input signal is an AC signal. Therefore, it must be in AC mode. AC. And as the positive and negative peaks of the signal are clipped off, or we are unable to see them, now I am adjusting the scale to 10 volts per reduction. So this is the input signal. So this is the input signal. And coming to the output signal, output is signal after filtering. It's not a AC signal. It is a I am adjusting the scale such that I can see the signal completely. The signal is going beyond the screen. That is why if I put it in 20 volts or 5 volts, the signal is going beyond the screen. So therefore, I will adjust this scale to 10 volts. So this is the waveform of the capacitor filter. This is the capacitor filter waveform. Charging and discharging, charging and discharging. See here. Input and output both are the charging and discharging, charging and discharging. Input now both channel A and channel B both are on, so you can see the input signal as well as the output signal. And we will go to the octave rectifier ripple filter. The same file I will save it as here also we will add a capacitor for a click protection. So this end connected to the ground. So half the rectifier with capacitor. This is already running. I will start this simulation. Once this is stopped, then only we can run the other set, that simulation. So multiple simulations are necessary in this. You see here. So it will give you the DC current, AC current. One of you please note down the DC and AC current. The DC current is 3.4. DC current is 3.45 and the AC RMS current is 341 micro means 0.3 341 or 42 microampere. In terms of milli, it will be 0.342 milliampere. So if you calculate the AC RMS by DC, you will get a ripple factor. So I have used only the ammeter, but you can also connect a voltmeter across load resistor so that you can find the ripple factor with the current component and voltage components as well. This is screenshot I will send you later. The screenshot and the waveforms. So we will connect the voltmeter also. We will see how it is. Are you getting the same ripple factor value for both voltage ratio and current ratio? So here is multimeter. Multimeter CR wave will be available here. This is first one is multimeter. Click on that and just click here. This also you can rotate. And this positive terminal is connected to the lower positive and negative terminal is connected to the ground. So you can find the AC voltage and DC voltage, AC current and DC current. Now if I run, I get the current components and voltage. So this is the AC RMS current, AC RMS voltage. And this is DC current, DC voltage. And this value calculate this. IAC is IAC RMS is 340 microamperes. IAC RMS. Let us take that. So ripple factor is IDC or VAC RMS by VAC. I think IAC is 340 microamperes, around 340. 340 microamperes by 3.45 milliamperes. 3.45 milliamperes. Coming to this, 6.91, 6.91 volts, and the AC RMS is 685, 685 millivolts. So one of you please find out how much you are getting, and this value is the practical ripple factor, practical ripple factor. And theoretical also you need to find, which is um, 1 by 2 root 3 F P R L. So substitute here in this equation, what is RL? RL I have connected to K, I have connected to Coulomb's resistor. P is 22 microfarad. And for C, 22 microfarad. And RL 2 kilo ohms. F here it is 60, 60 hertz. 60 hertz. So on substitution, the R ripple factor practical will be approximately same as that of the theoretical. This is the, you can reverse this. If you set input signal 0, this is the output waveform. And if you set output channel 0, input waveform. You can see the input waveform. The input waveform, what is the amplitude of the input signal? How will you measure the amplitude? If you see here, I can use this cursor. This is for channel 2. So this is different. This is not for channel 2 and channel 1. Those are cursors. So the voltage, this peak voltage, the peak voltage of the input signal is given here 16.717 volts. The peak voltage is 16.717 volts. And this also will be same as that, the 16 point minus. 16.794 we cannot plot it on the graph, therefore we can follow this number of divisions. So 1, here we will see 1, 1.2, 4, 6, 8. You can say that it is 1.8 into 10 volts. So 1.8 into 10 volts means 18. So you can write here the input signal as, can draw the input signal. So plus 18 volts and minus 18 volts. And time period, these cursors are to measure the time period. So you can place these cursors covering one cycle. So from here to here, the 4.954 seconds it is showing. So 1 by 60. Time period is 1 by 60 hertz. So 50 అయితే 20 milliseconds ఇచ్చారు. 60 కాబట్టి how much we will get? We just calculate. It should be around that. 17 milliseconds it is shown. So like that we have to simulate. I will send you these screenshots of the experiments calculating the ripple factor. So in the screenshots, you should take two printouts. One is the input circuit waveform, input circle, and the other one is input and output waveforms. The two printouts we need to put in the lab experiment. This is how we simulate using the multi-sim software. From the third unit, we may get problems like this. Emitter current will be given, collector current will be given, and from the value of the base current. So from this equation, we can find IB equal to IB plus IC, like that. And sometimes you may be asked to find the current gain of common base. So common base current gain Alpha is called as the current gain of common base, and we know that beta is common current gain of common emitter. So let us we may be asked to find the alpha, beta, and the gamma. This kind of problems you get in the exam for 2 to 3 marks. So do practice these problems on alpha beta relations and alpha beta gamma ID, IC, IE. So many problems are there in this textbook. So please practice them. And designing of the biasing circuits is also very important. I thought of the transport unit today was because of the resistance and using 36. This 36 we were not there in the beginning of the class. Otherwise I would have started. So okay then. So please stimulate my mind and one of you can send me the attendance then I will send you it. Okay. So Monday I will start 4th unit because if I continue with the 5th unit, you may not enter into the 4th unit. So first of all, let us finish off the important topics. Important means the basics of fifth I have completed. Only the mathematical analysis part is there. That is biasing and amplifier analysis. So once we cover the most of the important topics in the 4th unit, we will get again to the 5th unit. So practice problems. Practice. Meanwhile, you can practice the design problems.